Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
good. Oh, so then,
Good morning,
good
sir.
morning. Huh?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, you look very impressive. Good, nice suit and shirt. Only the tie part of it,
Thank you, sir.
not too bad. It needs to be a little broad, I think. Anyway, very briefly tell us about yourself. We are just going through your DAF. Just tell us about yourself.
So my name is
Go on.
Jayant Nahata.
Yes.
So I was born in Calcutta but raised in Delhi, sir. I have done BTech and MTech in biochemical engineering and biotechnology from IIT Delhi. I graduated in 2018. Sir, some of my hobbies are reading self-help books, doing Vipassana meditation, and writing journals, sir. And currently, sir, I am on an extraordinary leave from the Indian Civil Accounts Service.
Sorry, you are already in Indian Civil Accounts. Did I hear you
Yes,
correctly?
sir. I am on an Yes, sir. I am on an extraordinary leave from the ICAS, sir.
Okay, that's fair enough. That happens normally. What's your optional?
So my optional is political science and international relations.
Okay, and you are done biomedical BTech or MTech? BTech, is it?
BTech and MTech, sir. It was a dual degree program.
Oh, dual degree from Delhi. Okay.
Sir.
Now, don't you think now how much of your biomedical what is that? Biomedical, is it? What is it? The
biochemical. So biochemical engineering and
biochemical
biotechnology.
engineering. What exactly you read in this? What are the subjects?
So basically, it is a fusion of how engineering, biology, and chemical processes are integrated. So in biochemical engineering, we learn to operate unit processes. For example, in wastewater treatment or production of monoclonal antibodies, how to grow cells for industrial applications. And so in the biotechnology part, we read about genetic engineering on DNA fingerprinting, etc.
Oh, these are very important subjects. Now with this epidemic all around, tell us, what is this Delta plus? What is this Delta thing? What exactly it is?
So the Delta is a variant of concern as listed by the WHO. Sir, it is a variant which is proven to be 50% more transmissible than the original variant that emerged out of Wuhan. So there are different variants which are named by the WHO now as Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and Delta. So Delta variant first emerged in India. It was reported in October 2020. And so Delta Plus is a sub-lineage of the Delta variant. And it is thought to be more transmissible. However, no research indicates that it leads to more severe illness or hospitalization as such.
Good. Tell me, some of the IITs, I don't know which IIT, perhaps IIT Kanpur, they had predicted about the second wave. Now they are predicting about the third wave. How exactly they do it?
Sure.
Because you don't have data, historical data, etc. Now, how does one do? What sort of modeling goes on?
So there are different factors that go into building a model. So firstly, we see what is the vulnerable population, what are the mutants circulating, and which portion of the population that they are infecting in predominance. For example, in the third wave, we are predicting that it will be more infective for the children under 18 years old. So we see what population of them are vaccinated or which vaccines will be available then. Also, sir, we see the R number, which is a reproduction number at which the transmissibility of the virus is happening. So if the R number is more than 1, we see that the spread of the virus is more fast and it will spread faster. So, sir, we have to also include at what level the lockdown condition is and what percentage of the population already has developed immunity, which is found by sero surveys conducted by ICMR and other institutions. Sir.
Very good. You mentioned about R. Now, even the current R is more than 1. Am I right? What is the current R?
So current R is around 0.83, sir. It has increased from 0.69, which was witnessed earlier. So it is a factor of concern for us because the R number has now not declining as fast as it was after the peak of the second wave, sir.
Very good. What are your service preferences?
So my first preference is the Indian Administrative Service, then the Indian Foreign Service, then Indian Police Service, and then the Indian Revenue Services.
Now, one or two simple question on foreign service. Foreign affairs. Now, what is that? Is there a difference between ambassador and high commissioner?
So I lack understanding of that front, sir. The ambassador.
Okay, it's all right. No issue. We'll tell you later. Okay, what is the stapled visa? Stapled visa. Stapled visa. What is this?
So the practice of stapled visa was started by China in respect of our citizens from Arunachal Pradesh and also from Ladakh and Jammu Kashmir region. So stapled visa basically is refusing to adopt the conventional practices of a visa stamp by stating that these citizens do not need this. These citizens are not treated on par with the citizens of other countries, and the population is disputed. The citizenry is disputed.
But why should one bother about it? So long as you get a visa, it's fine, no?
Sir, no, sir. I think that it raises the claims on our own sovereignty. It disputes the sovereignty on our own citizens. So, sir, it is a matter of concern.
Very good. Last question. What is persona non grata?
Sir, I'm failing to recall, sir.
Okay, no issue. You passed out from which school in Delhi?
So, GD Salwan Public School. Gyan Devi Salwan Public School.
Gyan Devi Salwan. Who was Salwan? Whatever name is there. It has been named after whom?
So, the late Shri Mr. Girdhari Lal Salwan. Sir, he was a educationist. He also helped in the partition resettlement of the colonies. And he also started the Salwan Education Trust, under which 11 schools are running currently in Delhi, sir.
Okay. When is your interview?
So it's on the 4th of August, sir.
Oh, 4th August. Not much time left. Okay, good. Tell me, who is the governor of Reserve Bank today?
So Mr. Shakti Kanta Das is the governor, sir.
You have any idea about his background? What was he before becoming governor?
Sir, he was an IAS officer, sir.
Okay, fine. What is the monetary policy in one line? Just one line. What is the monetary policy?
So the monetary policy aims at the maintenance of the circulation of money, the interest rates, and the stabilization of the exchange rate, sir.
Nothing to do with inflation.
So yes, our monetary policy is targeted at inflation, which is pegged at 4% plus minus 2%. Sir.
Okay, thank you. Sinha sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Jayant.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. I found a mention of something called Project Arch. What was this Project Arch, you say?
So Project Arch was one of our project dealing with smokeless cook stoves, and we had women-led entrepreneurship where women in a decentralized fashion owned the molds of the stove. They manufactured it in their own village hubs. So we worked in two areas of Bhati mines in Delhi and also in collaboration with Gandhi Fellows in Udaipur, sir. So this was the project, sir.
What is Arch and what is Agni? How will you differentiate between the two?
Sir, Arch refers to the flames and the Agni refers to the fire itself.
Okay, good. Have you heard of a word called Jathar Agni? And what is that?
So, no, sir, I have not heard of the word, sir.
Okay. Well, tell me 2 or 3 self-help books which you have read, you say.
So I have read Atomic Habits. It was released in 2019 by James Clear. The second one is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey.
What is this? Tell me something about Atomic Habits.
So,
Both books are about habits, which you mentioned. What is Atomic Habits, you say?
So, Atomic Habits is a very insightful book. It talks about incremental changes in our daily life and instituting systems of habits. Sir, it deals with practical insights on how to build good habits and how to break old and bad habit patterns. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you have been in IIT Delhi. Tell me, what is the seismic zone in which Delhi is located? You see?
So Delhi is located in the seismic zone 4, which is the second most vulnerable zone according to our maps.
And which are the other zones, higher and lower? Tell me.
So higher one is seismic zone 5, then 4, then 3, and then 2, sir.
But you didn't mention 1.
So 1 is not there on the seismic zone vulnerability maps.
But why? And since when? Has it never been there, or something happened and 1 got deleted on the computer somehow?
No, sir. I have lack of understanding on why and when it was done. But sir, these 4 zones are there, and the other zones are not declared as such. They are said to be not earthquake prone.
Okay, Jayant, have you heard of what is called Vulnerability Atlas of India? And which is the organization which brings out the Vulnerability Atlas of India?
Sir, the National Disaster Management Authority, that is there, which brings out the vulnerability maps, sir. The vulnerability maps.
Are you sure, or you are just connecting 2 things?
Sir, I'm not sure, sir.
But that is not the correct answer, you say.
Okay.
But this, what is NDMA? What is NDMA? What is the role, main role of NDMA? You say?
So NDMA is the National Disaster Management Authority. So the NDMA coordinates the disaster management response and risk mitigation strategies. It also publishes the guidelines as to how to respond to different disasters. Sir.
Guideline part is correct, but they have nothing to do with response, you see. Kindly do take a look at the Disaster Management Act. Okay.
Sir.
And are you aware of the latest Finance Commission, and what does it say about disaster risk management financing?
So, yes, sir. So recently the 15th Finance Commission has published its recommendations for the period 2021 to 2026. So it has recommended for the institution of a disaster risk management fund. Yes, sir. At the state, at the center level, sir.
Is that all? Only disaster risk management fund? Is that so?
So, in respect to disaster, this aspect, sir, but otherwise, sir, it has instituted performance grants for various other activities. It has instituted local funds grants. Sir, it has shifted the population benchmark to 2011 census and not 1971. It has also given 2.5% of grants to the state on the basis of.
What does it say, Jayant, about mitigation, you see? What does it say about mitigation and about mitigation fund?
So the exact peculiarities I'm not aware of, sir. I'll read about it, sir, definitely.
Now going back to what is zonation and what is micro-zonation?
Sir, zonation is the risk vulnerability assessment and mapping that is done in respect to various disasters. For example, we have the flood zonation maps that are being done. So micro-zonation, I'm not particularly aware, but it may deal with the local aspects and the localized aspects rather than a general map on an all-India basis.
Okay. Thank you, Jayant. Over to Tyagarajan.
Thank you so much, sir. Good morning, sir.
So, good morning, Mr. Jayant. Good to
Good morning, sir.
hear you. Now, Jayant, tell me, we have been hearing about the extreme weather events. Anything comes to your mind about the extreme weather events recently in India or abroad? Some of the extreme weather events outside India and in India, Jayant?
Yes, sir. Sir, first of all, outside
That
India,
caught your
sir,
attention?
sir, yes, sir. So recently, Germany, Luxembourg, Netherlands, all these witnessed the worst flooding they have seen in past few decades. It is saying that it is said that in 1,000 years it is the worst flooding. Sir, the US and British Columbia region of Canada has witnessed heat waves and wildfires, sir. Siberia, sir, is also experiencing forest fires, and China has witnessed flooding, sir, in the Henan province. Sir, in India, we have witnessed extreme rainfall in Maharashtra, different regions of Maharashtra, sir.
Where exactly, Jayant?
So it is a Chiplun region
Bombay?
in Chiplun region of Maharashtra, sir.
Jayant, are you? Do you hear me? Am I audible?
Sir. Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Go on.
Hello.
Sir. So you are audible, sir.
You are not audible, Jayant. Am I audible?
Sir, you are audible, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Now, repeatedly in Mumbai city, we are getting floods every year. What do you think as an urban administrator perspective? What are the causes and how do you propose to address them when you become the commissioner, Mumbai, for instance?
Sir. So the reason for urban flooding in Mumbai, firstly, sir, it's due to climate change and extreme rainfall patterns. Sir, there has been encroachment on the wetlands and the rivers, sir, due to which the absorption capacity and the sponge effect has been minimized. It is due to concretization and the settlement of colonies near these vulnerable zones and wetlands. So thirdly, it's the urban heat island effect due to concretization and yes, sir, and due to heightened evapotranspiration, sir. Sir, fourthly, sir, I would say that proper EIA, the environment impact assessment, has not been done for big infrastructure projects, and this is leading to increased vulnerability to flooding. So these are the 4 points that come to my mind.
No. Going forward, Jayant, going forward, so how do we remedy the situation? How do we remedy the situation?
So the first priority should be to decongest the Mumbai area by freeing up the wetlands and the encroachments on the wetland so that the sponge activity and the ecosystem services are renewed. Sir, there is also a problem of landslides that Maharashtra and Mumbai region witnesses. So more afforestation is needed. So thirdly, deconcretization is needed along the Mumbai urban pavements and near the trees so that the urban heat island effect is reduced. Sir, the public transportation has
sorry to interrupt you here, Jayant. As an aspiring diplomat, we have been having a border dispute with China for a long time now, starting in the 60s and all. So what do you see? What is the way forward? China is our neighbor, a very powerful nation, but we seem to be having problem all along the border, and it's a long border. So what is your perspective, Jayant?
Sir,
as an international student, scholar.
So first of all, I think that we should adopt a piece by pieces approach. There are certain dispute areas and friction areas along the 3,488 kilometer border. We should treat them as individual disputes and exchange maps and do negotiation on those individual disputes. By solving such disputes on individual level, we can establish mutual trust, exchange maps, and delineate the border on a very gradual basis, rather than completely trying to solve the issue in one go. Secondly, sir, we need to engage more frequently and on a more higher levels at the military, at the diplomatic, at the political level, to build trust, to dispel the suspicions, and to maintain the border protocols of peace and maintain the status quo along the border. Thirdly, sir, I think that for border disputes, we also need to like safeguard our sovereignty by having enough deterrence on the border so that we can
One last
prevent the
question,
salami slicing
Jayant, one
strategy of
last
China.
question.
Because
What are your thoughts on the rural distress, farmers' suicide on the farm front? What are your thoughts, considered thoughts? Farmers are agitating
sorry, sir,
also.
your voice broke, sir, in the first part, sir.
No, I was asking you, I was leading you to the rural distress, the farm agricultural front. Some agitation is also going on there. And then the farm laws, we are trying to open up the agricultural front. So briefly, what are your thoughts on this, considered thoughts? Am I audible now, Jayant?
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, firstly, sir, I think the intent behind the 3 farm laws is very good, sir, in terms of freeing up the agricultural marketing, in instituting market-led reforms in the agriculture sector to increase the productivity, as also to have contract farming institutions in place so that our agri exports and proper technological inputs and capital investments can take place in agriculture. Sir, the intent is fine, but the agitating farmers, they have certain apprehensions which may have been misplaced to a certain extent, that the government will remove the MSP, that the government-led procurement via the APMCs would stop. We need to negotiate with them. We can have a temporary halt to the implementation of the farm laws. At the same time, we can institute a quantity assurance rather than an MSP assurance, that the government will keep on procuring a particular quantity at the base year. Let us say we can fix 2017-18 as a base year.
Thank you,
and
Jayant.
we can.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Tamta. Hello, Tamta. He is not there. Yes,
This
Tamta?
Jayanto, sir,
Yeah.
sir, I'm talking, sir.
Okay.
Jayanto, this is Tamta from Kolkata, and I have seen, you have said that you are from Bengal only. You got born in Bengal, then after that you have shifted to Delhi. Is it right?
Yes, sir. I was born in Calcutta. Yes.
And how many years did you pass in here in Kolkata or in Bengal? How many years?
So 1.5 years, sir. I was born in 1995. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's like that. So tell me about that. This IIT Delhi. So you were a day scholar or means like staying in the hostel?
Sir, I stayed in the hostel, sir, for all the years, sir.
Which hostel you were there? Which hostel?
So the Shivalik hostels, sir.
Shivalik. I was there in Jalamukhi. I passed out in 1980.
Okay, sir. Great to know.
Sir. Tell me about that. You have written that the Director's Award for Best General Secretary. What does it mean?
Sir, there is an annual award that is given to one of the 6 general secretaries that are there in IIT. So, sir, I was the General Secretary of the Student Affairs, which is the apex student body in IIT Delhi. And so there were other general secretaries too.
Okay,
so
I know this. Okay. Thank you very much for that. Tell me about that. I have this Love Agrawal, who is in Health Ministry now, who briefs about all this COVID data and all that. So, as a person who you are this chemist or biochemical engineering, you tell me about that. Can you go about this? When the person is recovering from COVID, he is being given steroids, and doctors say that the steroid in the long run harm the whole body. In fact, the second wave had been more of this your steroid, and that is how the death took place. Is it all right? It is correct or not?
So, steroid overuse is definitely leading to problems, sir. Even the AIMS director, Mr. Randeep Guleria, had pointed out that excessive steroid use is also leading to cases of mucormycosis, which is the fungal infection. So, but sir, on a case-to-case basis, the health workers and the doctors, they take the call whether the steroids will be giving more benefits or not. So, yes, sir.
Of the the general study of the person who had been put in the hospital in second wave, the mortality rate has been very high. So people say that the responsibility of a doctor, or that you call it the social, means that the responsibility of doctor towards this patient was not that much as in this first wave. Second wave, they became casual about it. So this is general thing. Do you agree or not? Just say yes or no.
No, sir, I do not agree with this.
Okay. All right. You have written about this one. IPS as the third one, I believe. No.
Sir.
Miss, now you are in audit and account service, is it?
No, right, sir. I'm in the Indian Civil Account Service. Sir.
Civil Account Service. Okay.
Sir.
So tell me about that. That means how. Suppose you have been given these two choices, means income tax or IPS. So you have been this allotted money per cadre in IPS, and then you have got this income tax also, means your IRS. So you will feel more comfortable in IPS or in this revenue service. Suppose your cadre is being Manipur in IPS.
Sir, I think both the services are really great opportunities and platforms.
I'm just asking you.
Sir, IPS.
If IPS, good.
Sir, yes.
Okay. In that case, if you tell me one thing, is generally you have seen in the Euro Cup in London. So when this England lost to Italy, so there was a lot of hangama and all that, and the police, also British police, they say, actually Indian police says about that they had not handled it meticulously, or it was mishandled. So what is your take?
So I think that the view is correct, sir. Based on the media reports, I find that the Euro Cup was one of the largest sporting events in football to be hosted in the Wembley Stadium. So the police should have deputed adequate security and have enough forces to deal with the overwhelming crowds that Wembley Stadium witnessed.
No, Jayant, no, not this way. If you see, there was not a single this casualty there. It was, of course, the destruction of the shops were there, the destruction of the vehicles were there, but there was not a single loss of life. So if you compare the police action of British police there, and suppose that the same situation had been in Calcutta or in Delhi, so do you think that the loss of life could have this taken place if the same situation was there?
So if there were more density of the population and
one thing, as I say, third question, the last question I'm asking you. The people say about that in Europe and other countries, the police acts as per the production for the public. And in India, the police acts for the production of the government. This is correct.
So that is the view that was conventional, sir. But now I think the policing system is going for an overhaul. It is becoming more people-centric, sir. And I think that view of the protection of the government is slowly changing. And so I can see the example of Delhi police and in general policing during the COVID pandemic, where the humane side of the policing was witnessed all across the country. So I think that belief is incorrect to paint the police in such a wide brush, sir.
Okay, thank you. God bless. Thank you, sir.
Jayant, you are very good. Your interview is on 4th, you said, right? Jayant?
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good.
Yes, sir.
You are very cool and composed. I like the way you answer, briefly and to
Thank
the
you, sir.
question. Very good. Keep up the same tempo and tenor of answering questions. And
Definitely.
I think you should make it this time, IAS or IFS. Today's performance, I'll give you
sir.
between 70 to 75. Sinha Saab?
Sir, I
Thanks.
agree. He's a very good candidate. No doubt. He also has the advantage.
Yes.
You have the advantage of being in the central service already, civil account service, you see. So that goes to a great deal of your own favor, you see. But at the same time, I found that, there were too many things in which you were guessing, which I asked about zonation, micro-zonation, Ndma, etc., etc. So if you don't know, it is better to say,
Yes,
sir, I don't know, but I would like to, if you permit, I would like to guess. Because otherwise, आप एक sort of तुक्का मार रहे हैं,
sir. Sir.
तो उसमें you were coming wrong, I think, in several things. Vulnerability Atlas, कौन बनाता है? Now, Ndma has nothing to do with making of the Vulnerability Atlas of India.
Yes.
It has
Sir.
nothing to do. Ndma again has nothing to do with the response. It is the Home Ministry and the National Disaster Response Force, you see. And
Sir.
if need be, other CPOs and maybe, military also, if need be. But
Sir.
primarily, the guideline part of Ndma was correct, you see. So I'm just saying, you see, look, I should also qualify that personality test is not test of knowledge.
Yeah.
So it is not really what you say. It is more about how you say, you see. You are coming out very well in how you say. That is what the chairman also said. Very calm, composed, pleasant. Got a very good, personality, all that. But at the same time, if you land up with several wrong answers, and people can see कि ये तो just like that और भी मुझे ध्यान नहीं आया, एक आध जगह आपने ऐसे ही उसको लिंक करने की आप कोशिश कर रहे हैं. वो that is not correct. It doesn't go well. See.
Okay, sir.
So where you are sure, it is fine. It is, you see, it is more of engagement in the discussion, you see.
Yes, sir.
Come out well on that. But at the same time, you see, discussions are about certain topics and themes. Firstly, mentioned in your DAF. So in DAF, you earmark 30, 40 of the words. Your DAF, you must have seen earlier also, guides the interview majorly. It's based on what you have written. Right,
Yes,
from your name, we didn't ask you, to your place and your education, your hobbies, this and that, your preferences, all these things. And the second part is the current affairs, which it is very difficult to define. It can be anything which is in immediate proximity of that. You see, Olympics perhaps would still be going on, or they would have just concluded. I don't know what is the last date. There can be number of questions on India's participation within India. Which state is doing better and how? Why is it that Haryana is doing much better than its proportionate of the population, etc., etc. Okay,
Sir.
so it is about engagement. It is about how, but at the same time, one should see that wrong answers are avoided. Okay.
Definitely, sir.
Yeah. So
I'll
that
work on it.
I would hesitate to give you right now more than 70. Let me tell you. You see, but you are a good candidate from my point of view. Be confident. I think that you are, and you should be able to sail through with a little bit of brushing up.
Sir.
Okay.
Definitely, sir.
Take a note of what
Jayant,
Mr. Sinha has told you.
It's very important. Respectfully subscribe to the views of the seniors here. Since you are now aspiring one step above, excellence should be the hallmark. You did very well, particularly the last answer, which Tamta sir asked you. It's a very good question. The UK police. Is my voice broken, Jayant? Is it okay?
Yes, sir. It is okay, sir. It is okay, sir.
It was a very good question by Mr. Tamta, and your answer was also a very beautiful answer. The humane side of the police, you were thinking on the spot. Wonderful. But I thought the China thing again. You thought on the spot, came out very good answer. But maybe reading a little fine print, going a little deeper, whether it is a farmer's agitation, rural Swaminathan report, China, the long-standing border dispute with China. For instance, we are told China has resolved the border dispute with all other countries almost. So a little more, because you were answered now at this stage, having come into the class 1 position, aspiring for IFS and IAS, it has to be really very top class. So a little more of perspective, conceptual side, getting the full 160 view, going a little further into the depth, and then preparing your answers, basic questions, answers, and even rehearsing them, because the time will be very, very limited. You are a wonderful candidate, Jayant. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Right. Bye-bye.
Yes, Chanta?
Sir, this nothing to add, sir. Thank you, sir. Nothing to add, sir.
All the best. You have anything to ask, Jayant?
No, sir.
No, sir. Now that you opted for foreign service, try to read Economist. If not Economist, read Indian Express. They give extract of that. They have arrangement with that. And read one Economic Daily, Business Standard or Financial Express, and keep track of happenings in Calcutta and Delhi.
So,
okay,
definitely.
all the best.
Thank you, sir.
You can leave the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, you can leave.